welcome back. I'm so glad that you could join me here today. I sure do hope that you are staying warm. It is 10 degrees outside here in northern Kentucky, and we have definitely seen some snow. We've definitely seen this Arctic blast come through here. It is just frigid and cold outside. We have had our front spigot out front freeze and then burst. We have had our bathroom pipes freeze, which for the past 2 nights, they have frozen and we've had to thaw those out. I think we successfully got them thawed out by 8 o'clock this morning. And we're just kind of going through this winter as it's coming. We really weren't expecting this our first winter in, but I know that we will be better prepared for next season. And then, of course, we'll probably not see any snow at all, but better to be prepared. I do have in front of me an Azure Standard haul that I picked up. We missed the last 2 because the delivery dates just didn't work for us. So it's been about 3 months since my last Azure Standard haul and pickup. And we were completely out of flour. I actually had to go and buy a bag of flour from the grocery store. And then we ran out of honey, we ran out of salt. Ran out of baking soda and some other things. But for this haul, I picked up a few extra things that I would normally get at the grocery store. But I have noticed since we started sourcing better quality food, I am having a lot less reactions as far as allergic reactions to the food that I am eating. I have a lot of food sensitivities. I have an autoimmune disease called Hashimoto's. So when my body flares up, I hurt. There's a lot of symptoms that go along with that, but I have noticed that with eating better quality food that is sourced from good quality sources, non-GMO, organic, I have less reactions, and of course my family eats better as well. But this order, not huge, but we picked up the things that we need, and that's what I use Azure for. I purchase things that we actually need, figure out if they're going to work for us, and if they do, then I buy them in a much larger quantity. I was really surprised by a few things that I bought this time, and as I'm going along, I will post in the corner the price that I paid for these items, and then in the description box below I'm going to list my order, everything that I purchased, the quantity that I purchased it in, as well as the price, and you guys will see the total that I spent here at the end. And like I said, if you're not ready to commit to the cost of this, that is perfectly okay. You don't have to buy hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars of food from Azure to place an order. You really don't. Sometimes you can go in with several family members, which is very beneficial because then you can divide up that shipping fee that's included in your order across several people, which is a real blessing. Hopefully in time, I'll be able to get some family members and some friends to go along with this. I'll go and pick up the order for them and be happy to divvy it up. But that way we're kind of sharing the shipping fee, but also taking advantage of really good quality food that we really can't source here, especially things like turmeric. I've had a horrible time with sourcing turmeric root here in northern Kentucky, where in Florida I could grow it in my backyard. But let me dive in here and show you guys what we picked up. Of course, I got another 25-pound bag of organic flour. I am not supposed to eat any type of grains, but I've noticed I have a lot less reaction with this organic flour. I don't eat a lot of flour as it is, any kind of baked goods, because, you know, it causes joint pain for me and I actually break out in a rash. We have tested me for gluten allergy, which I don't have, so it's got to be something to do with grains because I have the same problem when I eat oatmeals, rice, and other things, except quinoa. Thank you. Something I can eat. But let's go through kind of what I picked up. I got me some snacks this time around. I have tried to find a source for dried mango that does not have sugar added to it. And it's very far and few between. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it from Live Foods and Thrive Market and stuff, but it is expensive. Azure had the best price, so I picked it up from them. This is 1 pound, and that will probably last me a few weeks. It's really good. This is like candy for me. Mango has a lot of natural sugar in it, so it's very sweet. So this is like my natural candy that I can eat. We also picked up cornmeal. I finally went through all my cornmeal I got from the store, so I'm really excited to be able to try an organic cornmeal and see how that goes with baking and things. This is a organic quinoa, gluten-free. I can eat quinoa. It's a great rice substitute if you can't do rice. And I put this in my stuffed peppers when I'm making stuffed peppers. So I picked up some quinoa. This is a 5-pound bag. This is also a 5-pound bag. These down here will be mostly 1 pound. Let me check. Yep, these are all little 1-pound bags. Macadamia nuts. This is something else that I snack on. This is kind of, they're a little sweeter than I guess a regular nut like a pecan or a hazelnut or something like that. I love macadamia nuts. Good fat, but like with any snack, you know, portions. I could sit down and eat this whole bag. I love them so much. But this was a great price for macadamia nuts from Azure Standard. I'm always looking for a good price on macadamia nuts, and searching around on the internet, I'm seeing them kind of bounce anywhere from like $16 a pound up to $34 a pound. So I really liked the price on these, so I picked them up. Picked up some baking goods. Baking powder. This is non-GMO baking powder, so I picked up some of that. Pure baking soda, as well as some active dry yeast. Also says non-GMO on it. I keep my yeast in the freezer, so I'm going to transfer this to a freezer-safe container and pop it in the freezer. This was my exciting find, and also I was really just kind of impressed when I got this. I ran out of oregano. And I usually buy all of my seasonings in bulk anyways. You know, those big containers you get from like Sam's or Costco's. And I thought, I have the container, why don't I just get something to refill it? So I bought a pound of cut and sifted, gluten-free, GMO-free, organic oregano. This bag is massive. In my mind, I must have not have converted what this was going to look like. I was expecting it to look like this, thinking, you know, 1 pound, but this is a root, so it's heavier, and I just didn't think, you know, leafy green, dried, very light, this is going to be a lot. So very impressed with the price on this. So I am going to get back on Azure for my next order. I've already got it going and just ordered tons of seasonings that I can keep in bulk, because I go through them so fast, because we make a lot of our own dressings, our own marinades, instead of buying those little packages you get from the store. Also in here, we picked up some more Redmond salt. I am loving the salt. I usually get a pink Himalayan salt from the store, but I've noticed we go through it so fast, I wanted to buy it in a much larger quantity. This is my second time buying this salt. This portion right here is 26 ounces, and it lasted us 3 months. I'm going to go in for a bigger bag next time. Right now, we are really kind of trying to figure out where we are storing things. As you can see, I've got a different setup here behind me. We moved our dining room into what was our living room, and moved our living room into the dining room. Actually, I still have my recliner sitting in this room. We want to go ahead and use this room as the dining room. It has the fireplace in here, but it also has an additional, I don't know what you want to call it. It may have been a coat closet, but there's no door on it. So I'm going to put shelving in here and use this for additional storage for food and kitchen appliances. And then put a large cabinet here behind me to hold additional kitchen appliances. I got rid of so much stuff before we started homesteading, and now I've realized, oh, I needed that. So we're picking up some new appliances here and there. Obviously a dehydrator. I doubt I will ever jump in and get the freeze dryer. I don't think I'll ever get that far, but I love dehydrated fruit. I love that you can dehydrate zucchinis and cucumbers and they make great chips. So definitely going to pick up a larger dehydrator so that I can do that before this summer and spring, because you know we're going to double the size of our garden this year. So I'm excited to kind of go on that journey with you guys, and you can experience me dehydrating food and finding out if it really does taste good. Also, I picked up some more of the turmeric root. Because I have such a difficult time sourcing the fresh root here, I thought I would go ahead and picked up a dried version of it because I use it for tea and juicing. And then of course I found the root, the actual raw root in Azure. This I felt was a little pricey when I purchased it, and we'll come back to the dried root. I felt this was a little pricey for 8 ounces, but then when I saw it, the roots are very large. So you can see the roots are pretty large. And I only use about 1 inch when I'm juicing, and then I'll use about 1 inch to 2 inches if I'm making a pot of tea. So a whole pot of tea, that's about anywhere from 4 to 8 glasses of tea or cups of tea, depending on how big your coffee cup is, teacup is. So even though I felt this was a little pricey when I saw it, I feel like I spent good money on this because these are rather large, versus what I would have picked up in a grocery store that would have been much smaller and a little on the older side, kind of shriveled and dried. This looks really fresh, still has good crispness to it. So I'm very excited to use this. I can get some good juicing in. And then of course you can always juice this and freeze it too. That way it's not going to waste. But I can't wait till we get our greenhouse up so that I can actually try to grow this throughout the year. So let's go back to the dried root. I use this in my teas, and especially with as cold as it is right now, we are making a lot of hot tea. I get some ginger root and some turmeric. You can add some honey, little bit of cayenne pepper or a pepper, black pepper. That helps with the absorption of the turmeric. And you can add, you know what? I'm gonna put the recipe in the description below. Awesome recipe I found on somebody else's site. I'll share it with you so you can go there and get all the details. But I make this every morning. I just put a teaspoon of ginger root, teaspoon of turmeric root, a little bit of lemon, some coconut oil, and some cayenne pepper in there and mix it up and drink it. It's very invigorating in the morning. It will wake you up. Once that cayenne pepper hits your tongue, you're like, hello, good morning. So I love the price on this. I'm going to add it in the little corner here. Very well worth it. A lot goes a long way. I haven't run out completely yet, so I definitely went with the bigger bag this time because I'm using it so often. Well worth the money. Very good product. Love how it's packaged. This is a really good thick package, so this stuff is not, I don't know how to describe it to you. When you get, I guess if you're a tea drinker and you use loose leaf tea, you can tell when something is fresh and when something has been ground up to just basically dust and put in a little bag that you put in your tea. Totally different taste, totally different experience. When you can see your ingredients and smell them, and you can see the flavor in the tea. It is such a different experience than when you get something that looks like powder in a little tea bag. I mean, I can't wait to share with you guys my next farmhouse tea order that I have coming in. I've kicked coffee, but I picked up some of their, I think it's chocolate conniption and the hazelnut not coffee, and I can't wait to brew that. I have found a way around the creamer. I picked up goat's milk. It's a little different. It's taking a little bit to get used to, but it's not causing the milk reaction that I would get. So we're experimenting with that. So as I'm getting those things put together, I'll share those recipes with you as I'm working them out. All right, what else did we pick up? Honey. Took us 3 months to go through the last jar, and we scraped it all the way to the bottom. This is an orange blossom honey. I love orange blossoms. I'm a Florida native, so orange blossoms, the smell, I mean, I can taste Florida in this. So it's a little bit of home. We use honey in baking as well as our teas instead of putting processed sugar and things in there. But very good honey, very well worth the price. Much better than buying it in the store. And also, when you're done with this, let me grab my jar real quick. Okay, so when you run out of honey, or you're like scraping the bottom, it's all crystallized. This is my last jar, and I have in here salad dressing. So this is a vinegar, avocado oil, and some seasoning, and then I shake it up real good and get all the excess honey crystals and just the extra honey goodness. I get all that off the side, and voila, I have dressing. So, I mean, very useful way to reuse your jars, and of course to get all that good honey out of there, because you're paying for good quality honey. Use it all. Don't just throw your jar away with the honey kind of stuck to the side that you can't get out. Put some vinegar in there and shake it up and make you a dressing. All right. Also in here, I picked up some coconut flour. This is part of what I use to make, I guess you could say, a grain-free flour, a paleo flour. Things like almond flour, coconut flour, we use to do baked goods. I was completely out and needed some, so this was it's a good price, but coconut flour is expensive. So, but it goes a long way. This will last for a little while. I picked up some more pecan pieces. I was going to make a video on how we make our paleo granola. So it's a non-grain granola, and I had this huge sheet and I burnt it. Burnt all the nuts, the cranberries, the coconut, everything. It got away from me. I obviously set the temperature wrong, or the time or something. I was so disappointed. My heart broke, because I looked at all these ingredients and went, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to dump all of this in the trash. I threw some outside for the birds. They picked it, a little bit of it. It was really burnt. Anyways, let's look at what else we got. We're almost done here. Tapioca starch. This is also good for paleo cooking, or if you're trying to stay away from grains, we use that for more of a thickener for like gravy. Can also be used in baking, but usually when I'm trying to thicken something up, I grab my tapioca starch. Good replacement for cornstarch if you can't use that or just don't have a desire to use that. And then of course, I think we covered it all. They threw in the flyer for next month. I am excited to get in here. I found, and hopefully, you guys will get a chance to get on their website, bison breakfast sausage, grass-fed bison breakfast sausage. So if you like bison and you're looking for a sausage replacement, I am picking up some of this the next go around because I need something else other than just your standard pork sausage or the chicken sausage. So I'm really excited to get that and also share that with my my stepfather. He loves bison. He also has a heart virus that has restricted a lot of the things that he can eat, and he eats a lot of lean meat, and bison is lean. So I'm excited to be able to share that with him because he loves biscuits and gravy, biscuits, sausage, and gravy, and he's not been able to eat that stuff for a very long time. So I could at least give him some sausage back. So, guys, here it is. It's not a very big haul, but these are the things that we use, and I know this will last for quite some time. If you guys follow me through the week, and I hope that you come back and join me as I am using these ingredients in recipes so that you can see how they work and how often that we use them. Once you figure out what you're using and how often you're using it and what you're spending to go to the grocery store and get it, Azure might be, you know, the solution that you're looking for. Azure might be something you're ready to commit to. Up front, it might look like a lot of money, but honestly, when you buy something and it lasts 3 months, I think it's well worth the money. The flour we went through really quick because I did a lot of baking for Christmas. We made tons of cookies, tons of breads, cinnamon rolls. So we definitely went through the flour. This was well worth it. Very, very worth it. I did kill my I did kill my sourdough starter. I struggled so much to keep my kitchen warm enough so that my butter would soften. And I mean, like, the butter was soft and I would throw it in my mixture and it would get cold and everything would just firm up, and oh, it was a mess. But I had space heaters running in my kitchen, and because of that, my sourdough starter got too hot, and I went 2 days without feeding it, and it molded on top. I mean, it smelled downright disgusting. So there was no saving it. It had green stuff growing on top. I thought, I'll just scrape it off the top. I'm that brave. Okay, you don't have to be that brave. I scraped off the top and took a big whiff, and I'm like, nope, it's gone. So the sourdough hit the trash can, and we're going to start a new one. No problem. It's just flour and water. So guys, thank you so much for joining me here today. I appreciate that you guys take some time out of your day to spend with me. And as always, guys, I thank you for joining me on my journey, and I bless you on yours.